does mean something to a certain extent, and that's that. So I have Houston coming out of the AFC, and then the NFC is kind of a toss-up, but in the end, I think the 49ers are the team just based on experience. But boy, what a tough division. Seattle, San Francisco, and the Rams all there, right? Yeah. And I just don't trust the Eagles this year. So you tell me, who do you got for going to the Super Bowl?
Actually, Joe, you and me agree on our AFC prediction because which I did not expect. I thought I was going to come in here with the hot opinion saying that Houston's got it. But my rooting interest, I would say in the first half of the season, my Indianapolis Colts obviously fell off a cliff and started a grandpa at quarterback.
Wasn't bad, actually. I don't know if he was the problem, but yeah.
He wasn't as bad as I thought he would be. But his ceiling is very low. His ceiling was very low, and of course we lost out with him. So I think I agree with you. Denver Broncos, New England Patriots, bit of paper Tigers. Broncos can't play offense in the first half, so
you're right about that.
They're going to get punched in the mouth by Buffalo. That's my prediction.
Yes.
But Houston's defense is just that's a championship defense. They are insanely good. They're healthy. I think they could make a run. And then in the NFC. We'll see. I think San Fran could do it. Rams haven't been playing good as of late. Can't trust the Eagles. I feel like the Bears, it's a year too soon for them.
I agree with you on that.
Just don't have.
I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah, they just don't. I would love to see Caleb make it, but I just feel like it's 1 year too early. Seattle, I think it's either going to be Seattle or the 49ers, but we'll see if Sam Darnold can hold up or if he's just gonna fall off the Sam Darnold cliff,
That's right, and that's what happened last year. It led Minnesota to a similar record, and then the first round, bye-bye. So don't quite trust him. I'm a Bears fan, but I'm also a 49ers sympathizer. In other words, I think, they were beating the Chiefs in 2 Super Bowls in the second half by double digits and somehow still lost those games. So I'd like to see this modern version of San Francisco win. But again, if my Bears win, so be it. I don't think they quite have the defense to get there. But either way, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be so unpredictable because there is no definitive favorite this year, right? There's no Chiefs, so you don't have that whole influence. So yeah, either way, we're going to be entertained until mid-February, basically, and that's why winter is horrible around here, but the NFL and now the college football playoffs being expanded the way it is makes it a little bit better, Dylan.
That's right. Go IU. I'm a Hoosier. Go IU.
Oh, you're a Hoosier. Okay, I'm a Terp, so we don't talk football at this point. You beat us 60-6 or something on our own field, but we're not going to talk about that. All right, we got to go. This is Joe Concha. This was the Guy Benson Show. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Have a great 2026, everybody. Bye-bye.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-smoker can get $1 billion of coverage for $75 per month level rate for 10 years, or a man age 50 non-smoker can obtain $500,000 coverage for a month premium of $110 level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for a new or replacement term life insurance, call Term Busters today for a quote at 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Rate and availability may vary by state. Sample quotes based on preferred non-smoker. Underwriting and exam required. Call 1-800-908-7636 for details. Paid for by Robert Levenger, insurance agent.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth.
Having some certainty about your plan is definitely going to give you all the advantages.
Chris has the heart of an educator.
A couple of different ways that you can develop a retirement income stream that is infallible. It's simply not subject to the risk and loss of the marketplace.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth. Saturdays at 10 a.m. and Sundays at noon on AM 770 KTTH.
Mitch here at Leathers, Washington's most eclectic home furnishings resource. There's a lot of chaos in the world, so take a break from social media and self-serving politicians. At Leathers in Issaquah, our design professionals will guide you to a happy place by elevating your home environment. More than leather, choose from the latest fabrics and solid wood, something for every room in your home. Our guaranteed low prices, quality, and service will lower your blood pressure and be kind to your wallet. So check the chaos at the door and come experience a Zen moment at Leathers in Issaquah.
Seattle Red on 770 KTTH Seattle, 97.3 KIRO FM, HD3 Tacoma Seattle, 94.5 K233 DT Eastlake, 33 BU Seattle.
A terror attack stopped. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The FBI and police in North Carolina say they foiled a planned attack at a grocery store and a fast food restaurant outside Charlotte New Year's Eve.
North Carolina U.S. Attorney Russ Ferguson says 18-year-old Christian Sturdivant was planning an attack for about a year. He'd spent a lot of time online and on TikTok and ended up reaching out to someone he thought was with the Islamic State.
He pledged his allegiance to ISIS with that undercover agent, and he disclosed his plans to, quote, do jihad soon.
The FBI says he then told a second agent about his plan to attack a grocery store on New Year's Eve in Mint Hill, North Carolina. When agents searched his home and phone, they found hammers and knives, as well as a typed-out attack plan. He was arrested New Year's Eve and has been charged with attempting to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Investigators in Switzerland say they believe sparklers on top of champagne bottles ignited the fire at a bar at a ski resort in the Alps that killed at least 40 people and injured 119.
A flower memorial is growing to honor the victims. Among the dead and injured are Swiss, French, Italian, Serbian, Bosnian, Polish, Belgian, and Portuguese. No word yet on Americans. The nationalities, though, of 14 others are unclear. And due to the severity of the burns, it will take time to identify them. Officials say they have a specialized team who will use DNA, dental records, and clothing.
Fox's Stephanie Bennett. Investigators say they will also look into whether the material on the ceiling used to dampen sound conformed with regulations. Seattle has a new mayor. A self-described socialist, Katie Wilson, is sworn in. During her inaugural address, she told the crowd she intends to govern in a way that will push the city and society forward to the highest expectations. America is listening to Fox News.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
You're listening to the best of the Jason Rantz Show.
Folks! The yellow light!
I'm walking here!
Good afternoon and welcome to the Jason Rantz Show. We are here live on Seattle Red, online at seattlered.com and the Seattle Red app. We got a lot to get to, including, well, Everett schools are going after an off-campus Bible program simply because it's an off-campus Bible program. We'll get you some of those details. But first, Congressman Adam Smith said something remarkably stupid. And that's what's trending, brought to you by the Sunset Auto family.
What's trending? Let's get political.
We're having this greater conversation about the narco terrorists and the targeting of their boats as they are delivering drugs into this country that will kill scores of American citizens. And it seems to me that you can have a reasonable conversation about whether or not you think the strategy of bombing them in international waters is the right one. Fine. I'll concede you that, even though to me it seems kind of obvious that it's okay to do and the right thing to do. Okay, but fine. I'm not naive to think that everyone's going to agree with me on common sense positions like that. Fine. But Adam Smith, in his criticism of the strategy and essentially believing that it's a war crime without any evidence that there's a crime having been committed, and the New York Times of all places coming out and saying that original Washington Post article is effectively wrong. He said something on MSNBC or MS Now that is just truly baffling. And part of me wondered if he misspoke, but I've listened to the clip now twice. And no, he's not misspeaking.
This is not self-defense, and no matter where you do the strike, if it's not self-defense, then it's illegal. And look, I have a lot of sympathy for the general idea.
By the way, him saying unless it's self-defense, any kind of military action is illegal is not true. That's obviously not true. That is 100% obviously not true.
That when we send our service members out into combat, they got some very difficult decisions to make. When you look at what was going on in Iraq and Afghanistan, and you're stopping someone, do they have a gun? Do they have a suicide vest? Are they a threat? When you're in the middle of an insurgency with roadside bombs and car bombs and all of that, even in the aftermath of the Afghanistan pullout, when we had that suicide bomber kill 13 service members and hundreds of people in Kabul, and we did that strike against a car that we thought was a threat that turned out not to be a threat, I have some sympathy for that. But people on a boat in the middle of the Caribbean carrying cocaine are not a direct threat to the lives of our service members or Americans.
How many of your constituents died of a drug overdose because they acquired their drugs that were smuggled into this country, Congressman Smith? I mean, King County numbers are still through the roof. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? If he stopped and just simply said that American soldiers aren't directly threatened by this, okay, that's fine. I agree with that. But he can't just stop there, because that wouldn't matter, because the average person would then come back and say, yeah, but they're bringing in drugs that clearly threaten all of us. Anyone. So he just throws that in as if, well, he said it, I guess it must be. What is he talking about? Could you think of a way he was misspeaking there? It was very intentional, it seemed. Again, I went into this thinking after I just saw a clip, written about it, having not heard, I was like, he must have meant something else. What else could he have meant? He's arguing that drugs flooding our streets is not a direct threat to the American people. That's a dumb position. Have we decided on the left they're now going to redefine what a threat means? Is this another word to add to the list of language that they've decided to just change the meaning of?
We have a whole dictionary of that. So impossible.
It's seriously, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? How could you argue that? Here's the deal. Do we think a drug dealer is a threat to a community? Just asking.
Yes.
Why?
Because he kills innocent people. And
yeah. Now, or she, not just he.
You're right.
So, and sometimes it's they. But is that a controversial position for any of us to take? If we are out there and we're talking to just some average person, including just in Seattle, and we say to them, a drug dealer is a direct threat to the health, safety, well-being of our community, would anyone say, I object, that's too harsh? No, of course not. They would immediately agree. So why is it that in this case, we're pretending that bringing the drugs into this country, illegally smuggling them here, and then ultimately selling them, giving them to the drug dealers to then sell, how is that not a threat? Doesn't make any sense. And now we're pretending that narco-terrorism is not an actual word. Jim Himes is a congressman from Connecticut.
There is no such thing as a narco-terrorist. There are very, very bad narcotics people.
Is that what they're called? Narcotics people?
That's the technical term.
The technical term, I think, is narcotics people.
For all you rubes.
Yeah, first of all, it's person who identifies as a narcotics dealer and smuggler, okay? We don't... By the way, I don't like that he sounds almost identical to Adam Smith that I actually said to myself, did we mislabel this?
Tells, etc., but they're desperate to make this look like it's ISIS or Al-Qaeda, because that's the very thin line on which their illegal use of the United States military to take these people out resides.
I've quite literally never thought of ISIS or Al-Qaeda when this administration has used the term narco-terrorist. I've always thought like South American drug dealer or maybe Chinese, maybe. What is he talking about?
If you literally just Google it, the Google AI comes back and says, narco-terrorism is the use of violence and intimidation by narcotics traffickers to influence government policies or disrupt anti-drug laws.
This is an actual... There's a page on the DOJ website about it. It's kind of funny. This is a legitimate term. This is not even the first time I've heard that term be used. Right?
I think it goes all the way back to like the 80s with the war on drugs. And
now, again, you could say that it is a term that's being highlighted purely because of the politics of what the president is trying to do, and that is overstating the threat. Oh, if you want to make that argument, I guess you can go ahead and make that argument. But now we're just pretending it doesn't even exist? That term has never, ever, ever actually existed up until the Trump administration? Is that what we're doing here? The gaslighting is so unbelievably disturbing, and they have no shame. They have no shame. And it's funny because I just did a quick Google search as we're talking. And back just in 2023, who was president then? Remind me.
Biden.
Okay. They were talking about whether or not they should designate Mexican drug cartels as narcotics terrorists, narco-terrorists, because of the drug dealing that's going on. And I'm looking at interviews from folks, mostly on the right, just quickly at least looking, of the Lindsey Graham, for example, a News Nation interview from 2 years ago, calling Mexico a narco-terrorist state. Why are we pretending that this is just new? Because you don't think people have access to Google? And again, if this is the argument you want to make, go ahead, make it. You're going to lose this. This is another one of those 80-20 issues. There's not a normal American citizen who's out there saying, oh, this is outrageous. How dare they target the drug boats? You can just call them a narcotics person, Jim Himes. Go ahead and call them that. 99% of the country is going to say, okay, we'll take out the narcotics person. Why are we pretending that this is controversial? Everything this president does, this administration does, is a scandal to them. And Britt Hume made a really, really interesting point that I then stole and used on Fox News last night. Although, and I didn't steal it. I did quote him. Britt Hume had tweeted out the, I think now 4 days old Washington Post exclusive, showing that Pete Hegseth, according to their sources, ordered the admiral to target the survivors. Okay? And he retweeted that again and said, days later, this is still an exclusive. Generally, when a story of this magnitude is still an exclusive, means it's false. New York Times can't figure this out, couldn't find any of those details. Wall Street Journal couldn't. No left-wing outlet. MSNBC couldn't get any sourcing at all on this. All the sources are only talking exclusively the Washington Post. New York Times, is it fair to say that they have an incentive to attack Pete Hegseth? Yes. They have an ideological reason to attack the Trump administration? Why is it that they're not reporting that? In fact, why is it that they're reporting that there wasn't a crime, that Pete Hegseth wasn't even there when it happened and had no idea that it happened and didn't give that order? And in fact, the order that was given coming from the admiral was specifically targeting the boat out of fear that the drugs were still there and could easily be picked up by another drug cartel boat. And I've heard over the last 24 hours since yesterday's cabinet hearing, the new talking point is that Pete Hegseth and Trump are throwing the admiral under the bus, which is weird because anyone who spent even 3 minutes watching the cabinet hearing or listening to the cabinet hearing would have heard them back him unequivocally, the admiral in charge, right? There was no, he should have done. No, they flat out said he's 100% well within his duties to do that. He's 100% correct. He made the right call. We absolutely back him. They're like, they're throwing him under the bus. How is that throwing some? I wish someone would throw me under the bus in that way. Like, I unequivocally support Jason Rantz. How dare they throw me under the bus like that? Never showing me any support. I will die on this hill to protect Jason. I can't believe they would do that to me. It's so weird. So weird. Push the button.
What's trending? Legal.
So the Department of Justice has now officially sued the state of Washington, Steve Hobbs, Secretary of State, for refusing to turn over statewide voter registration records that were requested under the Civil Rights Act of 1960. You knew this. This is not really breaking news, even though it was breaking when it happened, because Harmeet Dillon from the DOJ was on this show 3-ish weeks ago. It was like the last week of the shutdown.
It was I think it was a month from tomorrow.
Is it? Okay, so a month from tomorrow. She was on and said, when the shutdown ends, we're suing.
Washington State has told us in September to go pound sand. They are not going to comply with our request. Now, that happened immediately before the shutdown that we've been in for now 5 weeks. And so that kind of ties our hands for a bit. This shutdown will end. This is now the longest shutdown that we've had. The shutdown will end. And we will get back into filing lawsuits. But right now, that's kind of suspended because we're on a skeleton staff right now.
So essentially you're saying is the government reopens, then you sue, essentially.
We're going to sue. We're going to pursue all of our legal options, and we're going to enforce our federal voting rights laws.
And they're going to win because, as she pointed out, the argument that Steve Hobbs is making that he can't turn this information over because it's classified information, essentially, that's protected information. It's their personal information. It's just a dumb argument.
You'll see him in court. That's dumb. Guess who issues the Social Security numbers? The federal government does. Yeah. Who are you keeping secrets from? That is stupid, and we will definitely be taking action to enforce our federal civil rights laws.
Now, the reason why they're asking for this information is actually pretty simple. It's also the reason why Steve Hobbs and other Democrats are refusing to turn it over. They're looking to do an audit of the voter rolls, and they want to make sure that Jason Rantz, with my birth date and my address, is legally allowed to vote. That's it. They're going to look up Social Security numbers to identify whether or not someone's actually in this country legally. Steve Hobbs doesn't want to turn that over because he fears that there's going to be something that they turn over that will be used to point out that the system isn't as secure as he says. If he cared about election integrity, maybe he would want to do these kinds of audits. Instead, he's spending taxpayer dollars to go on vacation to Germany, not once but twice within the last month and during the election. Spending taxpayer dollars on this for essentially vacations that he is pretending is all about trade. It's not. And he spoke yesterday to the media in response to the lawsuit.
Nothing's changed. I'm not handing over any information, but let's be clear. I haven't been sued yet. I haven't been served. I heard about this from the news media. Thank you very much, everybody. But I have not been served. I don't know if they're going to do that. But nothing has changed. So I'm not handing over private information. That'd be the last four of the Social Security number, the full birth date, etc., because state law prohibits me from doing that, and federal law prohibits me from doing that. The 1974 Privacy Act. Also, let me just state that there are numerous secretaries of state that have not turned over the data, including Republican secretaries of states, and many of them have not been sued. So,
because they're working with the administration on getting the information. And it turns out we made a nice little appearance during his media press conference, although not by name, of course.
The information we're talking about here is...
And he was asked whether or not he's heard from Harmeet Dillon, and I guess he's going to pretend that it would be normal for him to personally hear from Harmeet Dillon.
The information we're talking about here is information that the federal government could get access to if they wanted it anyway. So why is this a fight worth having?
Well, because it's about states' rights. It's about not just giving in just because they request it. It's also about following the law. The law is very clear, our state law and federal law. And asking a simple question about, hey, what are you going to do with the data and receiving nothing except Dylan supposedly probably slipped this information to the news media, and that's why I heard about this lawsuit. But the only other communication we've had is her being on a conservative right-wing talk show. I mean, I'm willing, my office is willing to work with DOJ on providing the list without the personal information, without the stuff that we keep private. And I'm willing to do that. But I have had no response from them.
I always like how they throw in that label as if they're insulting me. Their intent is to insult me, so I suppose I'm slightly insulted because that was their intent. But like she did something wrong because she talked to a conservative talk show host, as opposed to going onto a liberal show. You never hear that? You never hear them say, "Oh no, she went on a liberal talk show." Yeah, she's talking to liberal talk radio. No one ever said, they go on the liberal The View. No, they go on conservative Fox News and The View. Isn't it weird how they do that?
It's like a pejorative, yeah.
Of course it's a pejorative. The intent is to insult me, as if it's demeaning to be a conservative talk show.
Right-wing nut job.
Yeah, right-wing talk show. You're welcome to come on too, Steve, but you don't want to come on because you know I'm going to ask you about all those receipts you just gave me from your office, about all the really expensive travel that you just did to Germany, and I think Poland was on the list. Yeah, you see, we covered their story when he went to Germany for Board Game Festival, and for 3 staff members, it cost $80,000, and they were less than honest and open when I was asking the questions. So I put in a public disclosure request. I just got the second batch of files. I'll get 3 all in, and the third one I think is coming next week. I'm looking at this stuff, and his wife is going on these trips with him. And in one case, I think it was like $2,100 receipt for airfare. It says to be repaid to the state. And I'm thinking, why didn't you just pay to begin with? Why did the state pay and then you have to refund the state? Why, huh? That doesn't make any sense. Why would the state pay for you to begin with? So the state is, either way, they're spending resources on you because it sounds like they're the ones who booked your flight. Why would she get booked by a staff member of the office? Well, they wanted to sit next to each other. Oh, okay.
Such a dweeby scandal, too, a board game festival.
It's not just that, though. He's gone back to Europe multiple times. I've asked for stuff for the entire year, which is why it's going to take me a little bit of time to really dive into all the data, because I think they are trying to overwhelm me with all the data. I've got a lot of time. And now more vengeance because you tried to insult me, and I don't like being insulted. Why couldn't you just say on a talk show? Or just say my name. Give me some press, man. You guys are the worst. Let's find out what else is trending.
What's trending in Seattle?
I'm going to ask people to try to square this away. Seattle is the major U.S. city to have the most residents over the age of 25 with at least a bachelor's degree. So we are, at least from a formal education standpoint, the city of Seattle is the smartest, in air quotes, of any other major U.S. city. Of the 416,000 residents over 25, out of 8, 10, I think, whatever our population is, 70% of that population have a 4-year degree or higher. That's pretty impressive. Now, it makes sense, right? Because we have a lot of tech jobs, and usually you're going to STEM programs and actually graduating, and you come out with, okay, fine. We also have college here that, is churning people out, and you have a large staff. So it doesn't necessarily shock me. But when I see this kind of information, it just reminds us all, it should remind us all that book smarts doesn't really make you intelligent, because voters here seem to make really stupid decisions all the time.
Especially these days.
The last 5 years in particular.
Oftentimes a kid will go to college and come out stupider.
Most of the time.
Probably, yeah.
That's what's happening. There's only 2 ways to come out of college. You finally become a Republican because you are surrounded by the stupid, or you become even dumber because you're surrounded by the stupid. You've got folks here who will complain about the cost of living and then immediately say yes to higher property taxes and sales taxes. Here's a levy we're going to approve. Here's another bond we're going to give the thumbs up to. And then after that vote, they complain the next day. Man, it is just so expensive. It's insane. Let's put a socialist in office. How could... Explain. Explain. Other than to say that colleges are just indoctrinating these people and they come out of college with that degree and this new ideology. We just happen to have a lot of them here. But this is why, the political fights are so difficult to win. Look at people like this. Ooh, I have a college degree from Evergreen. Ooh.
What'd you do, walk through the door?
First, how dare you? They wrote a haiku, which was redefined because it didn't follow any of the rules. And it was part of their design their own major. Deconstructing haikus, like, what does that mean? Oh, we're just not doing haikus, but we're we're putting it in kind of that format.
Haikus suck.
Haikus are the dumbest. They are the dumbest.
Is that culturally insensitive?
No, it's not. It's just a reality. That's okay. Haikus are really dumb. They all sound like poems written by idiots who aren't smart enough to write out their full thoughts in a normal format. So they truncate it into something that doesn't mean anything, but we're supposed to pretend is deep and really, it's really contemplative. It really gets you to think. You can't even say contemplative in your haiku because it's too many syllables. 1-800-465-8770 for your text messages. The Sunset Auto family are loyal supporters of Seattle Red, and they want you to know that every qualifying new and used vehicle comes with oil changes for life. You get up to 5 a year. It's going to save you thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your vehicle. So when you're ready for your next car or truck, be sure to visit our friends over at the Sunset Auto Family in Auburn and Sumner, online at sunsetautofamily.com. Everett Schools is going after an off-campus Bible program. It's disturbing, disgusting, and another D word that we'll come up with at some point. The whole haiku thing is emotionally, I'm just intellectually drained. It's the Jason Rantz Show. This hour brought to you by the Northwest Safe Company.
Let's welcome to the show radio host, author Jason Rantz.
Delivering conservative commentary, news, and opinion from Seattle on Fox News.
Taxpayer dollars are literally getting looted.
This is by design.
And every afternoon, 3 to 7.
The second that you say, maybe this program for insert the marginalized community, maybe this doesn't actually work, you're immediately deemed to be racist.
Get exclusive content from Jason without the liberal spin. Only at SeattleRed.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Awards reserved.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st, for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters, a show that covers everything having to do with your home. Tune in every Saturday from 2 to 3 on Seattle Red, where you'll hear from local business owners who are experts in their industries. From foundation to flooring, roofing and windows, furniture and financial planning, it's everything in and around your home, and we've got you covered here on Home Matters. If it matters to you, it matters to us here at Home Matters. Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on Seattle Red, or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz here with Phil Mitchell from the Sunset Auto family. Let's talk about No Stress Sundays, because there are a lot of folks who just feel off-put by the idea of going to any place to purchase a car, and then all of a sudden you've got salespeople. Even if they're not breathing down your neck, the feeling that they might be just turns people off.
Well, No Stress Sundays is really how it should be every day at a car dealership.
So why is Sunday different for you?
Sunday's important because families are out running around. They don't want to waste their time. They don't want to be hassled by a salesman. And no offense, my staff likes to have some Sundays off too with their families. So we created this environment where there's really less salespeople, less finance people, and you just get to mosey around. And if you need some help, you raise your hand and we take good care of you. And that's how it works.
But to be clear, on Sunday, I can still get a car, right?
If you decide you want to go through with the purchase, we'll make sure we can facilitate that for you. We just aim to make you happy.
And you do just that. Sunset Auto Family has been making people happy with warranty protection for life, oil changes for life, and now No Stress Sundays. Head into any location when you're ready for your next vehicle. Sunset Auto Family. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
Be a part of all the excitement at Beasley Coliseum this year. Come cheer on the Washington State Cougars men's and women's basketball teams as they host the likes of Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and Oregon State in conference play this season. Don't miss out on all the action. Grab your tickets to upcoming WSU basketball games today at WSUCougars.com/tix. Again, that's WSUCougars.com/TIX. See you at Beasley Coliseum. Go Cougs!
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
I thought it was just stress. But then it felt like I was stuck in a state of panic, obsessed with worry that something bad would happen if I didn't complete endless rituals. I couldn't solve this on my own. So I made the call. I found a doctor who diagnosed me with OCD. Now I'm able to live more in the present.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
You're listening to the best of the Jason Rantz Show. Welcome back to the Jason Rantz Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it on this Monday afternoon. Seattle activists put on what may very well have been the most pathetic protest ever. I've been to many pathetic protests. Not intentionally, usually I just happened to be walking by, and it was odd this weekend. There were two protests. One on Saturday was an anti-Semitic protest outside of the Capital One Cafe in South Lake Union. They are mad that Capital One gave a loan to some company that does work with Israel, and Israel exists, so they decided to show up. That was that. It was, the traditional stupid stuff. I walked by with D'Artagnan. I got a dog last April. His name is D'Artagnan.
Really?
I don't think we talked about it, but I was walking by, and he's a really good protector against people, but generally Seattle people. It's odd because if I take him to daycare, he loves the people there. He'd rather hang out with the humans than with the other dogs. But when I'm out and about and someone makes eye contact, he will cut you. He will pull out a knife and cut you. That's his attitude. And he can sense, I think, when I'm surrounded by idiocy. And so someone tried to pass me a little flyer, and he really went after this guy. It was a get back Jew hater. And my dog's not even Jewish. He's Mexican. But I'm converting him. He did celebrate Hanukkah with me last night for the first time. He looked at it was actually his second Hanukkah with me, but this is the first time he participated in the candle lighting ceremony. And by participate, I mean he almost knocked down the menorah and set my apartment on fire. But I'm out and about yesterday, and I'm walking him quickly before the Seahawks game. And as I was walking by the Amazon spheres in South Lake Union, I saw a small cluster of activists who staged what looked like a low-budget elementary school play in the middle of the grassy area between one of the Amazon buildings and the spheres. It was it was bad. Like, it was embarrassing. Cardboard tree cutouts, a white picket fence for some reason, a lectern that read Bob's Billionaire Budget. And it was done, you know how if you're going to make a sign at a protest, you usually put a little bit of effort just to make sure that, like, the words are on the same line, like the level, like just the letters are level. But you know how sometimes you run out of space, and so you have to get your letters much smaller because you didn't properly figure out how large each letter can be to fit on the. It was one of those, and so it sort of like creeped down into, to the right, and it was. I don't know quite what it was that they were protesting, other than there was a sign or a banner that 4 people were holding that said "Fund Our Schools" in front of this satirical press conference that was, I did catch Lori Jenkins, the House Majority Leader, or the Speaker. I saw they had Bob Ferguson, who was there as well, both played by women, which is insulting to both Ferguson and Lori Jenkins. I'm kidding. And they were just doing this whole thing about, we're not funding schools, we're funding Amazon billionaires, which, again, I don't know what world they're in. So my assumption is what they're mad about is that Bob Ferguson isn't far enough to the left, and he's pretty far to the left, which tells you what these people are all about. Now, it was just a really bad performance, and it's, you know, you got to be surrounded by a good set if you want to really stand out and put in a good performance, I think. Like, you can't be surrounded by a bunch of props that were put together by people who don't really care to put together props. Like, if you assign me the assignment of doing props for this event, this is pretty much what it would look like. I would do the bare minimum, and that's what it looked like. It was like it landed somewhere between a community theater and a failed Etsy storefront. You know what I mean? It had that kind of look. And the only audience that had gathered for this, which was happening, they staged it 5 minutes before kickoff. So there were only 3 people there in the crowd who weren't part of this group of activists, which had maybe a dozen people there. 3 people. 2 were Amazon security personnel, and 1 was like a more official Amazon security personnel. That's it. Those are the 3 people, plus a witty, handsome, brilliant talk show host and his dog D'Artagnan. We were the only ones who were there. And I took out my phone and I started to record. I only got 42 seconds. That's how bad this was. They were doing their whole performance via the scripts on their cell phones. They were literally looking at the script on their cell phone. They hadn't memorized anything or hadn't gone in, there was no improv here. And in the 42 seconds that I'm about to play, they made at least 2 errors in reading from their script, and they caught themselves and they corrected themselves. It's so bad. Listen to this.
Washington, from Trump's cuts to healthcare and education.
Now, at this point, someone's supposed to say something, so this is error number 1. But no, they were all kind of looking around like...
They're like, line.
It's you. Go. John, it's you. John, go.
Boo! We don't need schools. Great. We don't need more politics.
Okay, error number 2. Boo, we don't need schools. Wait, no. We need... Listen to that again.
Boo! We don't need schools. Great. We don't need more politics. We need schools.
So we do need schools. So that's error number 2. There's one more coming.
We think healthcare and education are important. So they're important subjects to talk about.
Number 3. So I guess she didn't scroll to the next line. She thought it just ended at important. It was really important subjects to talk about.
But we're not here to talk about what billionaire budgets cut.
What?
We're here to talk about what it actually includes. Thank you for choosing AWS Legislative Services. We are proud to sponsor...
And then I just stopped. I couldn't do it anymore. It was so bad. It was so embarrassing that I stopped recording so I could go home to watch the Seahawks game.
Wow.
Right? Like, that's the level of cringe this was bringing me. And I think it made it easier because literally no one was there watching. So I'm trying to figure out why they decided to do this yesterday. Don't know the group behind it. I'm sure if I went on Facebook, I can probably track something down, but my interest is not that high. I was just embarrassed by this. A bunch of unhinged activists pretending performance art counts as action. And again, they did it when no one was even around. So what was the point of this? In the end, this wasn't actually a protest so much as it was a ritual. Activists signaling seriousness by building props and chanting the familiar slogans, misreading the script that they had prepared, pretending that this tableau will somehow fix schools or change budgets or anything else beyond their own sense of moral superiority. Seattle loves to call things like this the resistance. Like, this is part of that umbrella resistance. But from the outside, all it was just some unhinged adults putting on a low-rent puppet show right by Amazon for an audience that already agrees with them, mistaking costumes and props and self-importance for actual political influence. Who was this for? Themselves. Which means they weren't even in it to change people's minds. They were just in it because they were bored on a Sunday, and none of them seemed like the type to enjoy a football game, if I'm being honest. But if you're going to engage in this kind of cringy protests, could you at least enlist the assistance of some competent local drama club? Can you just go on to some campus and just beg them to help? Like, go to Auburn Riverside High School. Go Ravens. Because they have a good theater team, I'm told. Or what are they? It's not a team because they're not athletic in any way.
Troop? I don't even know what you would
whatever.
call it.
Yeah. Theater dorks, dweebs. I'm told that they're really good and they do really good set design. Can't you just reach out to them? They're going to be all liberal anyway. It's a high school, right? They're all going to be, then these are drama kids.
I'm saying it's theater, so.
Right? I mean, they're all going to be crazy leftists who are going to go really over the top, but they will at least deliver. And I bet you they know their lines clean and they're not going to have to read it off of a phone. They're going to be off script or off book, whatever the term is. This was so embarrassing. Again, I want to just make you understand. I left this cringy performance to watch the Seahawks game. What's my level of interest in the Seahawks?
On a scale of 10, like 2.
What's my level of interest in humiliating activists?
10.
Yeah. Getting to do it with my dog by my side, which guaranteed no one was going to come up to me while I was filming?
20.
Exactly. Like, I could have watched the whole thing if I wanted. That's how bad it was. Was there anything in that clip that even sounded remotely interesting?
No.
I will say, it is funny when you screw up your lines that you're reading from. It's on your phone. How could you screw that up? There were 4 screw-ups in 42 seconds. We could have turned it into a drinking game. Although it was too early for me to get sloshed. Not that I ever get sloshed.
Well, it would have been like what, like 1 if it was at.
It was at so it was literally 5 minutes before because it was 1:25 kickoff. I think it was. I was there. I got out of the house at 1:15 because I remember saying I got about 10 minutes to have D'Artagnan pee so he doesn't bug me for the next 2.5 hours. So I took him out, just went for a quick walk, and I'm pretty sure I got there with 5 minutes to kick because I was already ready to turn around and go back home. And that's when I was like, "What is that noise? What are these people shouting?" And then I got there. I was like, "Oh, dear God." At least they're getting out of the house. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think I'd prefer them to stay in the house.
I mean, I would prefer them to stay there, but for their own mental health.
Yeah, that's true.
They're hanging. You got to have. There's a lot of research about having your own clique, your group of friends, and that is gonna keep you healthy and alive, generally speaking, a lot longer than if you're just like a hermit who never leaves the apartment. So I guess, I don't even want to say they have their health. I've got the photos and videos up on my YouTube page if you want to watch it. These people don't look particularly healthy, mental or otherwise. 1-800-465-8770 for your texts. 1-800-465-8770. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and has been averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses for 19 years. Contact Legacy Group Capital to find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million. LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. When we come back, some sports ball. A quarterback apologizes for saying something he probably shouldn't, but I'm going to defend this Vanderbilt QB until my last breath. I'll explain why when we come back on the Jason Rantz Show.
Mitch here at Leathers, Washington's most eclectic home furnishings resource. There's a lot of chaos in the world, so take a break from social media and self-serving politicians. At Leathers in Issaquah, our design professionals will guide you to a happy place by elevating your home environment. More than leather, choose from the latest fabrics and solid wood, something for every room in your home. Our guaranteed low prices, quality, and service will lower your blood pressure and be kind to your wallet. So check the chaos at the door and come experience a Zen moment at Leathers in Issaquah.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-203-4400. That's 206-203-4400.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
Be a part of all the excitement at Beasley Coliseum this year. Come cheer on the Washington State Cougars men's and women's basketball teams as they host the likes of Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and Oregon State in conference play this season. Don't miss out on all the action. Grab your tickets to upcoming WSU basketball games today at WSUCougars.com/tix. Again, that's WSUCougars.com/TIX. See you at Beasley Coliseum. Go Cougs!
Hey, it's Jason Rantz here with Phil Mitchell from the Sunset Auto family. Let's talk about No Stress Sundays, because there are a lot of folks who just feel off-put by the idea of going to any place to purchase a car, and then all of a sudden you've got salespeople. Even if they're not breathing down your neck, the feeling that they might be just turns people off.
Well, No Stress Sundays is really how it should be every day at a car dealership.
So why is Sunday different for you?
Sunday's important because families are out running around. They don't want to waste their time. They don't want to be hassled by a salesman. And no offense, my staff likes to have some Sundays off too with their families. So we created this environment where there's really less salespeople, less finance people, and you just get to mosey around. And if you need some help, you raise your hand and we take good care of you. And that's how it works.
But to be clear, on Sunday, I can still get a car, right?
If you decide you want to go through with a purchase, we'll make sure we can facilitate that for you. We just aim to make you happy.
And you do just that. Sunset Auto Family has been making people happy with warranty protection for life, oil changes for life, and now No Stress Sundays. Head into any location when you're ready for your next vehicle. Sunset Auto Family. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
When I found out my son was smoking weed, I thought it was just part of adolescence.
But then I found out how powerful weed is now.
When teens use vapes or dabs, the potency can be 80 to 100% THC.
Use of high THC products by youth can cause hallucinations, cannabis-induced psychosis,
and come with increased risks of suicidal thoughts,
planning, and attempts.
Just Say No, KNOW. Go to justsayno.org today for the facts.
A public service message from Johnny's Ambassadors.
Check out the all-new SeattleRed.com.
This is not just a Seattle issue.
Finally, conservatives in Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have a home dedicated to local news.
You could have the same exact conversation in Everett or Tacoma.
Conservative analysis and opinion, original video content, and so much more. SeattleRed.com is a new experience for Seattle's conservative movement.
This is kind of a big deal for the future of the Pacific Northwest, really.
Visit the all-new SeattleRed.com.
You're listening to the best of the Jason Rantz Show. Welcome back to the Jason Rantz Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will defend Diego Pavia until the day I die. Don't know who he is. Just learned of his existence this morning. And actually, technically yesterday, because I saw him start to trend on X. And people said he's being disrespectful because he was mad he didn't get the Heisman. And how old is he? 22?
At most, probably.
Right? 21, 22. And
actually, he might be older. I think he's a little bit older because he transferred or something.
But he's in his early 20s. Yeah. He's not a 42-year-old.
Oh, he's 23. Okay.
Okay, 23 years old. He's the quarterback of Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia. And he was upset that he didn't win the Heisman Trophy. Now, some committee votes, correct? Isn't it like reporters, college
writers,
and editors and all those people? And he lost, even though he led the Hoosiers to the
Commodores.
The guy who won is Fernando Mendoza. But Pavia is good, right?
Yeah.
Like really good, to the point where he was even being...
I mean, he was a finalist for a reason.
For Heisman. So he posted on his Instagram a photo of him at the ceremony, and he's surrounded by his friends, whom he tags. And at the bottom of the video or the photo, he says, F all the voters with a thumbs down emoji, but family for life. Now, some dude named Dylan Tovitz, Vanderbilt, class of 28, screenshot this and posted it. And I guess it went viral afterward. And now Pavia had to come out and apologize for the quote-unquote disrespectful post. He then put out a long statement saying being part of the Heisman ceremony last night as a finalist was such an honor. As a competitor, just like in everything I do, I wanted to win. To be so close to my dream and come up short was painful. I didn't handle those emotions well at all and did not represent myself the way I wanted to. I'm going to stop him there. There was nothing to apologize for. You are a 23-year-old who's disappointed that you lost out on something that could have changed your life. And you said, I didn't even think it was serious. Like, it was kind of like in jest. F the voters. Is there a single voter who's like, how dare you? How dare you say that to me? I take my job as a sports journalist who covers college football very seriously. What we do matters. What we do is important. It's life-changing, and you just to dismiss me. No, it's a kid, and yes, he's still a kid, who was disappointed, and this is how kids react. Like, seriously, this is what we're pretending was outrageous? Wait like 4 years when he gets to the NFL and has 14 kids out of... Wait till he has 14 illegitimate kids and beats up his spouse 4 times. All 4 of them.
It's funny how they seem to overlook the serious crimes.
Like there's serious things, and this is what you're upset about? Seriously? Who cares? Who cares? Tell me someone who's pretending to be outraged by this, and I'm going to show you who's a liar. There's not a single person who's outraged by this. Cut the kid some slack, dear God. Was it because he used the F-bomb? He didn't even say the whole F. He literally wrote F, the letter F. He didn't write the whole thing. So he showed some restraint. Hey, their brains don't fully develop until they're 24, and this one may never develop because he's a football player.
Yeah, he's been getting bashed in the head.
Right? So seriously, is he any good?
He's great. I don't know if he'll translate to the NFL that well, but he's a great college quarterback.
What do you know who's going to translate to you are all about Johnny Football or whatever. Like, oh, he's going to be the best.
Manziel.
Johnny Manziel is the best. He's the future. And then you're all like, Tim Tebow, oh my God, he's going places. That's all I heard from you for years.
Well, he didn't even know me back then, but...
That's the weird part. That's how annoyingly passionate you were about that. And then you were like, Michael Sam, he's going to kill it. He's going to be one for the history books.
Well, he kind of was in a way.
Yeah, he technically was. So I didn't realize that Patrick Mahomes was injured, ending his career, or his season, I should say, which ended the season. When you don't have Patrick Mahomes, it turns out you're not all that good. So they didn't make the playoffs, but they were in it for a moment. And if you ever want to hear and see a football player in real time experience the disappointment of defeat and the soul-crushing nature of learning that you're no longer even competing for a playoff spot, all you have to do is check out Chris Jones. He's their defensive tackle. I've been screaming about him for the whole season.
He's a great player.
So good in that defensive tackling of his. Listen to him learn from a reporter in the post-game press conference that he's definitely not going to go to the playoffs.
Still have a fighting chance. Are we out of the playoffs? We are? Okay.
Oh, I felt that disappointment. And I will say, I'm glad I saw it because I think it's really easy to dismiss athletes who experience the pain and suffering of defeat. And I think you can learn a lot from how people handle this. Afterwards, he went on Instagram and said, F the other teams. I should have won. I'm kidding. But it's interesting how he responded. He didn't lose it. He knew he was on camera, obviously, versus Pavia, who sends a disrespectful tweet. But I felt so bad for this guy. I've never heard of him until this morning when I saw this clip. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a defensive tackle. I'm vaguely aware of the Chiefs and how good they are. And were. But if you're them, especially, like, it almost feels like it's inevitable that you get at least to the playoffs, if not to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was very bizarre. It was probably a very awful day for them yesterday. If Patrick Mahomes gets hurt at the very end of the game.
ACL tear, right?
Yeah. And then they're eliminated from the postseason in the span of like a minute.
You could literally, You could hear the disappointment.
Still had a fighting chance. Are we out of the playoffs? We are. Okay.
And what was even worse, for them to be statistically out or mathematically out, it had to be a worst case of worst case scenarios for other teams' performance. Buffalo had to beat or tie the Patriots. The Jaguars had to beat or tie the Jets. The Texans had to beat the Cardinals. If all four of those scenarios play out, the Chiefs are out.
Literally everything went wrong for them.
Yeah, and then, of course, Chiefs losing to the Chargers. So everything went the opposite direction, which is almost what happened for the Seahawks yesterday. Is it fair to say the Seahawks played so poorly yesterday because they were waiting for Thursday?
Yeah, I think that's what they were, overlooking their opponent.
Is that okay? It's a Jason Rantz Show.
Is it time to get your home sold? Nick Southard with Upgrade Realty here. Selling hundreds of homes for over 25 years has taught me presentation is everything. Picture amazing photography, designer staging, and maximum exposure. With my luxurious marketing, you'll sell fast at top dollar and save thousands in fees for just 1% listing commission. To learn more, visit upgraderealty.com. Upgrade your listing for 1%. Upgraderealty.com.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients.
You're listening to the best of the Jason Rantz Show.
Coach! The yellow light! I'm walking here! I'm walking!
Good afternoon and welcome to the Jason Rantz Show. We are here live on Seattle Red, 770 AM, streaming live on the Seattle Red app and the Jason Rantz YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, search Jason Rantz, hit the subscribe button. You can watch this show on video live. For some reason, the woman from the Coldplay Kiss Cam decided to talk to the press, even though everyone pretty much forgot about this. And so I'm assuming she's just given up and looking for a payday, I guess. We'll get into that. But first, some significant news to protect children, not just in Washington, but around the country. That's what's trending. Brought to you by the Sunset Auto Family.
What's trending in Trumplandia?
Really good news from the Trump administration proposing federal rules that would effectively force hospitals here in Washington, in the entire country. But really, this is about the blue states that allow gender-related medical treatments that are life-altering for children. If they continue doing them on children, they will lose billions of dollars collectively in federal funding. The policy was announced earlier today by Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr., the CMS administrator, Dr. Mehmet Oz, and so many others, basically saying we're going to cut off Medicare and Medicaid dollars to hospitals that continue to offer puberty blockers, hormone therapies, surgical interventions for minors. And this comes at a time in which there is heightened scrutiny for providing this kind of so-called gender-affirming care because it's very bad for the kids, despite what left-wing activists will tell you. There is a reason why the United Kingdom has all but banned puberty blockers. There is a reason why in most of the globe, some 13-year-old can't just decide that they're going to shave their trachea or cut off healthy breast tissue. And yet somehow in the United States, thanks to radicals on the left, they normalized that, they legitimized it, they lied about what the data said around gender-affirming care. I've done numerous stories just locally about how the quote-unquote experts just blatantly lied and then tried to cover their tracks on this sort of stuff. This is disgusting, what's being done to children. And what's worse about all of this is not only are you gaslighting the children, but you're manipulating the parents into accepting radical changes to the bodies of their own kids under the threat of removing them from your care for child abuse if you don't immediately accept a 7-year-old as trans. We talked yesterday about an 8-year-old who adults are pretending is transgender when the 8-year-old is just an 8-year-old. Here's Dr. Oz today.
Do you think that we need medical billing codes for detransitioners or those who face adverse reactions from sex change procedures?
We're looking at the billing code situation. There's probably codes we could use already, but we will fix the codes if we can fix the kids. We're not going to let math, regulations, and money get in the way of helping these children. For the same reason, we don't want to allow any of those resources to be used in a perverted way to harm children. These kids, and we've all spoken to this, their prefrontal cortexes are not yet mature scientifically. So condemning them to decisions that they make whimsically at those ages, no parent would allow to have happened. And I believe these procedures will fall in the deepest abyss of dark periods of American history like prefrontal lobotomies represent today. They should be a prehistoric relic that brings shame upon the profession.
So Democrats hear this and say, no, we're going to continue to be on the side of damaging kids for a lifetime. Frank Pallone, the congressman Democrat from New Jersey, threw a hissy fit about the ban on trans surgery, or a roundabout ban. It's not an actual ban.
It is shamelessly bold for Republicans to bring a bill to the floor called the Do No Harm in Medicaid Act. But that's today's Republican Party. They simply lack...
Yeah, it is today's Republican Party. They don't want to harm kids. I know, shocking. From a Democrat perspective, I understand why you think it's so shocking, because it seems like you would rather the bill called do as much harm as humanly possible to kids.
Any shame, and I mean really, saying that they are doing no harm to Medicaid when their big ugly bill earlier this year cut nearly $1 trillion from the Medicaid program. That's a huge cut that will leave millions of low-income families without any health coverage at all.
Where will they get the money to cut off the healthy breast tissue of their 16-year-old daughters? This is not fair. Who will pay for the binders, the chest binders, and the tucking kit? Who will be able to afford the top surgery and bottom surgery for their trans children? There are toddlers right now who are trans and are in deep need of surgical interventions.
We're already seeing the devastating effects of their big ugly bill. States which are already facing budget shortfalls stare down a reduction of as many as 20%.
I love when they're so passionate about the issue that they have to read from a script. That's my favorite part.
Of their federal Medicaid funding. They're being left with an impossible challenge that many have started cutting. We're seeing across-the-board cuts that are crippling hospitals, maternity units, home care providers, and clinics. We're seeing health care providers close their doors and cut their services. And we're seeing states scale back benefits, leaving even those who are able to keep their Medicaid coverage with less of the health care that they need. And now, even with all that, Republicans have the audacity to bring a bill to the floor that they claim is about doing no harm in Medicaid.
You said that.
That's not what this is about.
It is.
H.R. 498 is an extreme attack on medically necessary health care for children.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not medically necessary to cut off your daughter's breasts. It's not medically necessary to shave your son's Adam's apple. It's not medically necessary to have feminizing face surgery. It's not. It's not. You can pretend all you want that it is, but the American people have spoken many times loudly and clearly. But again, this is that hill they want to die on. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. Now, the reason why this matters is because the amount of Medicaid funding or Medicare funding that goes into hospitals essentially keeps them open. And so this is a roundabout way of forcing them into not continuing with this level of care. The Associated Press, because they are not an actual news organization, the way they framed this was Trump was trying to ban health care for trans kids. Kids who identify as transgender 1,000% can continue to get health care. They can go into any hospital and get health care. They might not be able to get subsidized care that would chop off their breasts, which is not health care at all, and by the way, not medically necessary. But every single trans kid or adult has access to and will continue to have access to health care. I hope that they have access to as many qualified psychiatrists or psychologists, mental health experts as humanly possible, because what they're going through is real. It's absolutely real. But what's not real is a boy who wants to present as a girl and then have us all believe that he is actually a she biologically. That's just not true. Why would the United Kingdom and why would many European countries ban this kind of quote-unquote health care? Usually the left tells us to look towards Europe for health care lessons. But I guess not when it comes to something that maybe doesn't align with their political views. When you make healthcare decisions through purely a political lens, you are letting everyone down. You're certainly letting the children down in this case. Let's find out what else is trending.
What's trending? Follow up.
Someone will have to explain to me why it is that after we finally stopped talking about the Coldplay Kiss Cam couple, why the woman in this, Kristen Cabot, is speaking up. You all remember this. We're doing the Kiss Cam. You see the man, the CEO, now former CEO, I think, of Astronomer, and Andy Byron holding her. And then the camera goes on this, oh no, covers her face, runs away. Oh no. Finally went away. We haven't talked about, I didn't even remember this story had occurred. When was the last time you thought about this story?
Months.
Right? A long time. You would think, and 4 months ago this happened, you would think that she would not want to bring this back up again because she suffered through this, as did the CEO. As I recall, she was not the one who was cheating. He was the one who was cheating, but she was the HR manager or director, whatever the title was. But she decided to give an interview with the New York Times. She said, I made a bad decision, and I had a couple of high noons and danced and acted inappropriately with my boss. She says she was newly separated from her husband at the time of the concert. She says, and it's not nothing. I took accountability, and I gave up my career for that. That's the price I chose to pay. I want my kids to know that you can make mistakes and you can really screw up, but you don't have to be threatened to be killed for them. Okay, so now I'm the victim. And obviously she is a victim in that regard, but it's just a weird kind of pivot. I feel like this was a mistake. Nothing good is going to come of this. And I feel bad for her kids who had to see this. Again, she did not do anything morally wrong. She was separated. Ethically wrong, you could argue she did because it was the boss and she's HR and she should have known better. But morally, what do you give me that look for? You think this was morally wrong for her?
I mean, if
did she know he was married?
If she knew he was married,
okay, that's fair. I don't know, and
if she didn't know, then it's not really her fault. But
was he separated? I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure he was married.
He was married, yeah.
Like at the time, not separated, married. But they're consenting adults. I don't personally care. Like, do what you want. Just don't do it in front of everyone to the point where you're going to get caught. And granted, you never think you're going to get caught on the kiss cam, but
also, like, their reaction is what gave it away.
Had they not acted that way, no one would have ever known anything. It's not like these videos get shared anywhere. Mm-hmm. They never do. There's nothing. The best thing that came out of this is that now the videos do get shared because everyone's doing their reactions of getting caught mocking the two of them when the kiss cam goes to them. I went to a Mariners game not long after the Coldplay incident, and everyone was doing oh no, I just got caught. It was fantastic. It was amazing.
I remember the Phillies did they had
their mascot,
the Fanatic, and then the female version of the Fanatic doing it on the camera. Yeah.
Oh, that was great. I hope she's going to write a book, isn't she? She's going to write a book. And it's going to likely sell more copies than What's Killing America, which is out right now, and I get paid when you buy it. That'll kill me inside. I'm going to, on the camera right now on our YouTube, I'm holding my book the way the man held his lover, who's now talking to the New York Times. Except my book, when it's on camera with me, doesn't get embarrassed. She should put out an advice book. Because she doesn't have an interesting story.
What kind of advice could she possibly give, though? I mean,
how to, now that I've got caught, don't make mistakes like I made. Right? Here's how to...
How do you make a book out of that, though?
You can make a book out of anything. Like I said, What's Killing America is on sale right now, wherever fine books are sold. Push the button.
What's trending? It's sort of breaking news.
No, it's not. I'm going to say I really, really did not respond well to the news we learned earlier today that the Kennedy Center is going to be renamed the Trump Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts after the board of the Kennedy Center voted to change the name. This is too butt-kissy to me. This plays right into the hands of Democrats who are saying, look at him, he thinks he's a king. He thinks, like, why would you do this? It's so dumb. And as much as I love Caroline Leavitt, her statement about this on X this morning is just really embarrassing. It's just not a good look. She wrote, I have just been informed that the highly respected board of the Kennedy Center, some of the most successful people from all parts of the world, have just voted unanimously to rename the Kennedy Center to the Trump Kennedy Center because of the unbelievable work President Trump has done over the last year in saving the building, not only from the standpoint of its reconstruction, but also financially and its reputation. Congratulations to President Donald J. Trump, and likewise congratulations to President Kennedy, because this will be a truly great team long into the future. The building will no doubt attain new levels of success and grandeur. Had they renamed it after RFK, I would have been more supportive. This is stupid. This is stupid. This is pointless. People are not going to call it the Trump Kennedy Center outside of the Trump administration. I don't like this. I think it makes him look petty. It makes him look really, really, really petty. Even if he wasn't directly involved, he was obviously involved.
And you say that as someone who is petty.
I'm incredibly petty. I'm more petty than Donald Trump. You will not meet anyone who's as petty as I am. And vindictive. So if you say anything negative about me again, I'm going to come in there and I don't like this. And I saw a lot of people ragging on it. They're right to. Sorry, on this one, they are 100% correct to call this out as just really, really childish and silly. And I don't even think the board can change the name. I don't think they have the power to do that. Because doesn't Congress have power on this one?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure they do. Look that up. Someone has had to have looked that up. I'm near certain that the board doesn't have the authority to just unilaterally change the name. Board members, by the way, that were appointed by Trump. I'm also curious from folks out there listening what your take was on this. Is this something that seems petty? It can't just be petty to me, and I don't want to be the one bashing Trump. I'm usually quite supportive. I don't like this. 1-800-465-8770.
According to Google AI, it rests with Congress. Yeah.
Oh, see, why I knew that and how I knew that, I have no idea.
Because it's a, quote, living memorial to JFK. So it's like under federal law.
I knew that. No, that's exactly what now that memory comes back, that's exactly what I was thinking. I knew I was right. The board can't, this is just stupid. And even you're reluctant to criticize him on anything. Even you'll call this one out.
I'll criticize him. Yeah, I don't like it.
This is just not.
I mean, I get what it's definitely like a troll job, but like sometimes it goes too far.
It plays into the Democrats. And I don't think people will not read this as trolling. They'll read the plaques in the White House as trolling. This will not be read as trolling. This will be read as narcissistic
self-aggrandizement.
behavior. That's what this will be read as. And that is a self-inflicted wound. The Sunset Auto family are loyal supporters of Seattle Red and want you to know that every qualifying new and used vehicle comes with oil changes for life. That's going to save you thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your vehicle. So when you're ready for your next car or truck, be sure to visit our friends at the Sunset Auto family in Auburn and Sumner, online at sunsetautofamily.com. Let's find out what else is trending.
What's trending in Seattle?
The FYI guy over at the Seattle Times, Gene Bulk, he's got a new column out about, despite the problems that Seattle is dealing with, people keep moving here. He looked at data from the last American Community Survey done by the Census Bureau. This was data from 2024, obviously. And it showed about 51,800 people lived in a different state or different country just 12 months earlier, which means 7% of the roughly 773,000 Seattle residents age 1 and older, which he says is a slightly higher number than just before the pandemic. So what he's basically saying is a little bit more people are moving here than in the past. And again, when you get stories like this, people are moving to the region. You get either ignorant or bad faith talking heads, especially the bloggers on X from this area. Take that, conservative media telling us Seattle is dying. Ha 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 ha. This proves that there are no problems. No, it proves you're using 2024 data that will show what it usually shows, which is people come here to work at Amazon or Microsoft or anywhere in our tech sector. That's all the data means. All the data means people are coming here because we have a big employer who hires a bunch of people. And I note 2024 data intentionally because remind me what happened just a few months ago here in Seattle, in particular with Amazon?
Layoffs?
Yeah, a lot of them, which will then impact this number most likely next year. People moving to a city for work does not mean the city doesn't have any problems. And you can put your head in the sand all you want. You can continue to just keep your head in the sand, claim we don't have any problems whatsoever. There's not a homelessness crisis. We don't have any crime. It's all down. Everything is so much better. It is absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Andrea Suarez from We Heart Seattle, she's got a really good op-ed that'll be on SeattleRed.com on Monday, just about the latest of what's going on in Seattle, in particular the Belltown neighborhood, where you just have out-of-control homelessness in the so-called soda zones where we're supposed to stay out of drug areas, but the homeless, they continue to use and sell out in the open in the zones that were specifically named to keep that kind of behavior out. That policy was a total failure, Oh, but apparently it's not because some people moved here. A few thousand people moved to get work at Amazon. That pays a lot. It's awesome. Wow. Gosh, I should shut up. I should never talk about Seattle on Fox News or CNN or Newsmax again. Could you make a note for me to never criticize the city because a few people moved here? And I love being lectured, especially about this, by people who don't even live in Seattle. That's my favorite, is when people who don't live in Seattle say, Seattle's fine, don't listen to people like Jason, who actually does live in the city of Seattle, unlike the critics. Just throwing that out there. Maybe that's why I'm so much more knowledgeable on what's going on in Seattle, because I actually live here. Well, if it was so bad, you wouldn't live there.
Well, and you're just smarter.
Well, that part's true. Thank you. I take back threatening to hurt you for calling me petty. That was very sweet of you. Thank you. 1-800-465-8770 if you want to send me a text. 1-800-465-8770. This hour is brought to you by the Northwest Safe Company, online at nwsafe.com. When we come back, we're going to dive into the big local. Lots of people who are having lots of problems dealing with the flooding and the windstorms. It doesn't appear to have any kind of meaningful solution in sight in the near future. We'll explain what's going on and then some right here on the Jason Rantz Show when we come back. Hey, it's Jason Rantz, weekdays 3 to 7 right here on Seattle Red. Thank you for making 2025 such a huge year. This year, we launched Seattle Red and SeattleRed.com with one goal, to give conservatives in Seattle a place to get the news without the liberal spin. And judging by your response, you've been waiting for exactly that. We're just getting started. 2026 is going to be even bigger as we keep pushing back, telling the truth, and standing up for conservative values. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us here at Seattle Red.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Mitch here at Leathers, Washington's most eclectic home furnishings resource. There's a lot of chaos in the world, so take a break from social media and self-serving politicians. At Leathers in Issaquah, our design professionals will guide you to a happy place by elevating your home environment. More than leather, choose from the latest fabrics and solid wood, something for every room in your home. Our guaranteed low prices, quality, and service will lower your blood pressure and be kind to your wallet. So check the chaos at the door and come experience a Zen moment at Leathers in Issaquah.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Is it time to get your home sold? Nick Southard with Upgrade Realty here. Put my luxurious marketing to work for you and save thousands in fees for only 1% listing commission. Visit upgraderealty.com. Upgraderealty.com.
A&G here for Trajan Wealth, and it is truly never too early to plan for your retirement. Maybe it's decades away, maybe right around the corner. Either way, Trajan Wealth's fiduciary advisors can ensure you're going to feel prepared for that big financial shift in your life. Contact Trajan Wealth today to learn more.
Maybe that's happened already. When your portfolio reaches $500,000, the stakes
and opportunities really change. Let Trajan Wealth help you maximize those opportunities. So call today to learn more.
The fiduciary advisors at Trajan Wealth understand that no two retirement plans are the same, so they offer guidance on a variety of financial objectives, all custom tailored to you. Give Trajan Wealth a call today at 206-203-4400. That's 206-203-4400 or TrajanWealth.com to schedule a complimentary introductory meeting. It's TRAJAN Wealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters. Tune in this weekend when we'll talk with local business owners about everything in and around your home. Join us on Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on Seattle Red, or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating. How can I help?
Yeah, hi. Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
Yep, that's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is absolutely free.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so we'll help you save the most and even handle the rebate process start to finish.
Amazing, but what if I just need a furnace?
All good. Furnaces start at just $69.99 a month. And don't forget to ask about our clean air upgrades, because with all the smoke from wildfires, these systems filter out pollen, dust, and harmful particles, keeping the air in your home clean and healthy all year long.
Sweet.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, a free furnace you'll love for years, and cleaner air for your home. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, total home comfort, and electrical service,
there's no beating CM Heating.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition too. It's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
Jason Rantz on Fox News.
Have you seen restaurant closures in Seattle?
They're happening nonstop.
And every afternoon, 3 to 7 on Seattle Red.
They're struggling with Washington state cost mandates.
They again raised the minimum wage to over $21, and at the same time, they took away the tip credit.
On Seattle Red.
You're listening to the best of the Jason Rantz Show.
Snoqualmie, Mercer Island, Des Moines.
This is the Big Local on the Jason Rantz Show.
Shoreline, Woodinville, Burien.
Stories about you, not about Seattle.
Hey, look at that. 4:30 on a weekday afternoon. That means it's time for the Big Local. Brought to you by The Dana Show, hosted by Dana Lash, weekdays 9 to noon, right here on Seattle Red. This is the part of the show where we completely ignore stories coming out of Seattle and instead focus all of our attention on the communities you live in and care about most. And it might be a small community, Skycomish, but it's one that matters. All of our communities matter. Maybe not Tukwila. I'm kidding, but Skycomish is dealing with some significant problems. Not only are they without power, but Highway 2 is an absolute mess. It is closed because of widespread damage, and this is going to reverberate, not even just in Skycomish. It's going to impact Index. It's going to impact Leavenworth. It might impact Sultan. It does actually matter. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Highway 2, it's 50 miles. It goes from east of Skycomish to west of Leavenworth. And the roads are washed out. They're covered in debris because of the rain and the flooding and the wind. Mo, who runs Sky River Coffee in Skycomish, I've totally been there. It was responsible for why I had to desperately pee on that 50-mile stretch to get to Leavenworth. Mo says, Tacoma, there's a ton of uncertainty.
It's going to be hard for the next couple months. I think the uncertainty is probably where we're all sitting at the very moment. We're used to the dark, but it's not knowing what's going to happen next.
And it's not even just being used to the dark. Remember, of all the times if you're going to lose power, it's always going to be awful. But when it happens when it gets pitch black at like 3:15 in the afternoon and you're living in Skycomish, that's rough. And it's cold. It's going to get colder. There is extensive damage, so it's not going to be able to be repaired overnight. Governor Ferguson says, but we want to get to it as quickly as possible.
When we had a conversation about Highway 2 a couple days ago, and I was like, guys, it can't be months. Like, come on. And they started showing me photographs and some video. look, I don't think you got to be some engineer to understand that's going to take some time.
So you just gave up? That was his message? I said, guys, you got to get to this quickly. And then I looked at the damage. Okay, never mind. Take your time. I feel like we had a bridge that was badly damaged that was supposedly going to take months and months and months to be completed. And didn't you declare an emergency and then it got fixed within, 3 weeks? That was able to happen that quickly? Wow. It's weird how that works. It's almost like if you put a little bit more resources into this, it would be fixed. I understand that we have limited resources when you've got a whole bunch of problems across the state. Don't get me wrong. But his comments there seemed a bit defeatist. Deputy Mike Mellis with the King County Sheriff's Office says, especially damaging here because we're talking about peak tourism season for Skykomish.
This is one of their money seasons. Skiers should be passing by, buying sandwiches, buying coffee every single day from this point on. And it's just obviously not going to happen.
I'm not entirely sure how I can recommend you follow what Franny, who runs the Whistling Post Saloon, is about to encourage you to do, but let's give it a listen.
Yeah, now it's just, we're here and it's going to be till February. What's Stevens Pass going to do? How are people going to get to the mountain? And don't forget about Skycom. We're still here. You can still get to us. You just can't get to Stevens, but yeah, come visit.
God bless her, and I don't mean to be mean towards Skykomish, okay? Okay? I don't mean it. But are you going to go to Skykomish?
Typically not out of my way, no.
It's now, if you live nearby, okay. I don't know how far or close nearby. If you're in Monroe, hanging out, going to Skykomish to show your support, I think that's awesome. Sultan, awesome. The gem of Snohomish County. But yeah, you're in Issaquah. That's a little bit of a trek.
It's not close, yeah.
I'm in Seattle. That's a bit of a drive. What's the farthest out that we can responsibly recommend
Spokane.
people? Spokane?
I'm kidding.
That'd be really out of the way just to get there. I'm trying to think, I feel Monroe is a good, right? Yeah, I'm going to go with Monroe.
After you're done saying hi
Duval?
to Benson Boone, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Benson should do a concert to raise
a fundraiser,
money. Yeah. Or he can get all his Boonites? What do you call a Benson Boone fan?
Is there actually a name?
I don't know. Taylor Swift has it. Why doesn't and he open for
I mean,
her?
a Boonie would seem like it'd be the easiest.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Get your Boonies out there and have them volunteer to clean the road. And you'll perform with them. And you'll do your little backflips. But just you got to make sure the road is cleared of debris because you could land the wrong way and hurt your ankle. And then you won't be able to do any backflips in your little unit. What are those things called? Leotards? The zip-up things. What are those called?
Wait, who wears them?
Benson Boone. That's all he wears.
Oh, really? I've never actually seen him perform.
It's like it's a full body zip-up.
Body suit? I don't know.
There's a term. It is a bodysuit, yes, but there's a term for it. Is it unitard because it's just one?
Jumpsuit?
Thank you. Why did I not know that? What's going on? Go get me some of my keto shots in my office. I think I'm experiencing brain fog. Or it's because I'm going on vacation soon. And mentally, I've been on vacation this entire month. I mean, I'm not. I'm 100% committed to everything. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, a family in Tacoma with medical needs is pleading for power to be restored. They are dealing with the flood aftermath, the storm aftermath, just like everybody else. They're one of over 25,000 Pierce County residents who were without power last night and into today. And as a result of all of this, they're feeling pretty vulnerable. As Stephen points out, speaking with Fox 13, his parents rely on medical devices to survive, and so they obviously need power.
We felt the whole house shake and loud bangs. My dad's a double amputee, uses lift chairs and stuff to get around the house. We can't move anything or help him because there's no power. All that runs off of power. Mom has nebulizer machine she uses, heart defibrillator. I sat on hold for over an hour. They hung up on me. I called right back.
Wow. I'm assuming he's talking about Tacoma Public Utilities, by the way.
Yeah.
And I sat on hold for another 45 minutes before I finally got a hold of someone.
Okay. So it doesn't sound like they were very helpful. And in fairness to TPU, I imagine they're getting it. You don't hang up on people. Let's give them a benefit of the doubt and say maybe it just got disconnected. But never mind. It's a utility company. They totally hung up on you. They did.
They were like, I'm good.
Fox 13 reached out to a spokesperson at TPU who said typically if people are having an issue like the family is having, they should contact emergency medical services so they can come help with those who have specific medical needs. This is not to push them into getting a whole home generator because not everyone can afford it. But, when I was talking about during my commercials for the Puget Sound generator, Supercenter Puget Sound, I bring this specific issue up, and people don't really think about that until it's too late. And again, I don't know this family. I certainly recognize that a whole home generator is not like a couple $100 and then you're good to go. It's an investment for your home, but it's also an investment in your health. And when you're dealing with significant medical issues that rely on power, even being out for an hour is, potentially bad for the person. And even if you, let's just say you have sleep apnea and you rely on a CPAP machine,